Hello, everybody. Welcome to another bonus episode of Dragoncast. This is where Chris Mandle and I are rewatching the OA, the supernatural thriller, mystery, suspense Netflix show starring Brit Marling. We are on episode 3. Apologies for the kind of like slightly sporadic, chaotic way that this has been uploaded. It was intended to be a regular thing, and I don't know what. I seem to have just like a brain fart about actually putting these episodes up. So we've only actually put one episode up so far. And I actually even forgot to put the flipping YouTube version of last week's Dragoncast podcast up until Friday or something stupid like that. I'm a busy boy. It's a crazy time. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. Well, I mean, obviously, I've been very busy making sandwiches for you this whole time, so I don't mind the delay at all. It's just nice to get upstairs every now and then and see some sunshine.
Just get a bit of breath of fresh air and, more fool me. I'm the guy that orders the groceries online. Why did I order that vegetable stock? That's what I want to know.
Tomato paste or whatever it was.
We are crazy. On episode 3 of the OA. After episode 2's revelation of where Prairie is or has ended up, and the introduction of Hap. I guess it's a bit more. It's very much a focus on exploring that universe and the other kind of members of the congregation, so to speak, and also early attempts at escape. What did you think to it, Chris? How did you find it?
I loved it. I really loved it. I mean, I just thought it had a real focus that I thought maybe I found the first episode of the OA quite hard to sort of navigate.
Yeah.
This was great because you have like just this amazing sense. I mean, she's not gonna actually escape, right? So seeing
we already know that she's there for 7 years, so yeah.
Right. So I thought it was great. I loved. I mean, so you couldn't really get a sense of this last episode, but the sort of structure that they're in is sort of fascinating because it's glass. So Hap has to like
glass square. With like, are there 4 of them or 5 of them? 4 of them, right? 4
yeah. So I was trying to like screenshot this unsuccessfully. I thought it was more round, almost not round, but like a hexagon or like a pentagon.
Yeah.
And then each of them have like, it's like a Trivial Pursuit piece, isn't it?
Like a pie piece.
Each of them have like a pie, and then they have this running water, which we sort of heard about last episode.
Runs all the way through it. Yeah.
Goes round and goes out. So there's a one-way like irrigation system, basically.
Yeah.
So obviously it's great that it's got made out of glass, but then Hap has to like go in at night with a squeegee and like clean it. Which I thought was hilarious because if you're keeping them in like a dungeon, you're not going to be like, oh, mildew, like
exactly. That's it's playing havoc with the grout. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I thought it was really great and really suspenseful. I mean, I've never seen someone make a sandwich with such dexterity.
Amazing.
I can't do that good a job, and I can see perfectly fine.
The proper trope, though, in a lot of American films and programs, where they seem to have this amazing array of sandwich ingredients always in the fridge. It's like there's always a plate of leftover chicken or meat or something.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like, do you remember Minority Report? Did you ever watch Minority Report?
Yeah.
Where Tom Cruise opens the fridge to find the sandwich that was left for him after he had his eyes replaced, and never understood why the guy hadn't taken the old sandwich out, but that's by the by. But yeah, Americans have an amazing appetite for just filling their fridge just absolutely to the brim. Is that true in real life? Have you ever looked in an American's fridge?
Well, if you look at an American fridge, they're so big that you can't actually adjust to the actual items inside. I find them quite disorientating. It's like the size of a wardrobe, aren't they, usually?
Yeah.
I just found like I'm always like, but if you do get like a nice loaf of bread, it will be stale in one day, and then you've got a loaf that you can't cut into without warping your knife. I
bet you're one of those. You make breadcrumbs, stick them in the freezer, don't you?
I do. Although for my sins, there is half a loaf of bread, like a mini, like a little.
What, in your freezer?
Bread. No, that I just forgot to cut up in time to make into breadcrumbs while it was fresh, so it's really stale. So I don't really know what to do with it.
Oh, babes.
Might throw it at my I was telling you in our episode of Dragoncast, I've got new neighbours. I could always throw it at them because it
Are they
looks
still
like
looking
a
at you?
bruise.
Are they still there smoking?
No, they've gone in. They've gone in.
They've gone in for a can of beer.
Yeah, wet the whistle between cigarettes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, yeah, I always find the American fridges fascinating. Oh, we've just got some chicken legs. Oh, we've just got some cooked sausages.
Yeah,
like I'd have eaten them by now.
Yeah, exactly. No one's got time for that.
I've got half a pizza. Bullshit.
Were there any, before we get on to what we enjoyed, were there any bits that kind of stuck out as being a bit confusing, a bit shit, a bit kind of bit weird?
No, I thought this episode was quite straightforward.
The only thing
I find this scene, the flashback stuff, I'm really into. I find the scenes where Prairie is like explaining what happened to her like pals, I'm a bit like not following as closely. Like I find that quite hard to keep track of.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The
my general feeling, if I recap it for you now, is Prairie goes up for some fresh air, proves herself adept at making a sandwich.
Yeah.
And also, I thought Hep kind of saw, oh, you could have used the knife to just try and stab me, and you didn't. Like, I can trust you.
Bit of trust.
So she
there,
gets a job as like a sort of sandwich artist, like the ones at Subway.
Yeah.
And when she starts cooking for him, and she does like chores and stuff, doesn't she? Like she's hoovering at one point.
Yeah, she's become like his maid. He's realised that actually her blindness is brilliant because she can't see any of the things that he's working on.
Yeah, this weird stuff he's working on.
So he's kind of got this kind of perfect situation, and also he clearly fancies her. There's clearly some kind of because I noticed there was a bit, and I don't know if they delve into it at all later on. I can't really remember, whereby we see Prairie flinch when Steve touches her, where they have that kind of moment of intimacy in the attic, and can't bear to be touched. Yet, when Hat touched her in the kitchen, she was quite okay with that. You know what I mean? She didn't.
Yeah, something obviously
something
awful
else
goes down.
Yeah. The only thing I found... Sorry, you carry on. Go through the recap. That's right. That's what you need to do.
Let me just get through to what I remember. Because I kind of watch it quite soon after we do the previous episode. Right, so I sometimes find I'm a bit like, what do I remember? And I think that's sometimes a useful like way of seeing what stuck. So she decides to she crushes up some sleeping pills in this like beetroot soup that she makes. And the plan is to like drug him and then run away.
Yeah.
But before she can do that, he has an allergic reaction to the tomato paste that she uses.
Yeah.
And she's almost like, oh, wait, this might kill him.
Yeah.
But he goes like, get me an EpiPen. And then she goes to the bathroom and there's like a dead girl in the bath.
August. Yeah. Is dead in the bath. They're like the previous... the previous habitant of her cell.
Right. So and also obviously got some sort of maid job, right? Because she was up there. Do you think? No.
Well, no. You'll find that out soon.
Okay. But I thought she'd been there since August. I didn't realise her name was August.
No, they named her August. We don't really know if that was her real name. The people downstairs named her August because she arrived in August.
Okay, fine. Yeah. And then, so she ends up... And then sort of at the end of the episode, she pushes him down the stairs... smashes the kitchen window, runs away. Yeah. Runs like really far and then
is in some kind of weird
dystopian.
Like the scenery in that last scene was just like, holy shit, it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, and also I tell you what I loved is when they try and write the note.
Yeah.
That was amazing because the reason I mentioned the water is it's kind of a plot device because the water flows one way. So
yeah.
When she tried to push it back up to Homer, right? Homer who had the ring.
Yeah.
It went wrong and it went out and they lost it. And that was really good. I thought that was really tense and really sort of like thrilling.
The whole episode to me felt like Misery. You know the film Misery? It had kind of just really uncomfortable kind of like, oh, any minute now he's going to come back. And weirdly, we were just doing Dragoncast for Game of Thrones season 2 episode 1, and the mirroring of the someone slipping something into some beverage and food and doing the switcheroo and waiting for someone to drink it was also there, which I found quite interesting.
Yeah. I guess it's hard to do, but I was surprised that she put all the sleeping pills in all the soup and then was like, oh shit, he keeps asking me to take the first sip.
Yeah, why didn't she just put it in his bowl? That's what I wanted to know, because it seemed like
crush it up at the bottom, and then the hot soup would have melted it.
Exactly.
But hey,
Hey,
she tried her best.
She did, and the bit that I found a little bit shit was, and I guess it was necessary because it led on to that, like you say, that great moment with the letter and the one-way stream, was Homer trying to explain why him sending his ring and money to his son is more important than actually all of them getting out there, which obviously is not true. But I just found like slightly odd. Also, and again, can't remember if this gets explained but Prairie quite rightly says, "How do you know you got a son?" And he never answers that. And I was kind of like, "Yeah, how do you know it's a son, mate?"
Yeah.
You know, never gets answered. He just kind of like changes the subject. That's not important right now. What's important is that we get my fucking ring from the bath. The ring would not still be in the bathroom cabinet where he left it, and I can't believe that he would still have all that crumpled up money, which would be a really useful tool for someone who escapes to have in their pocket. Those two bits for me were a bit like, hang on a minute, that's a bit fucking meh.
Yeah, there was elements of it that I just felt like, oh, it's still not making sense what the setup is. Like, because he kind of gasses them, right? But they don't know why.
So it's not. There's quite a few big reveals yet to come. There's two things. Again, the homework still hasn't arrived yet. I keep promising you paper ready. I keep promising you homework, and I must hang on a second. I'm gonna have to have a look at it and see if it comes next week. But there are two major things. One is what this homework is, and second is is what they're there for. What is HAP keeping them there for? What is the purpose of that?
Yeah. So my theory still is that they all had a near-death experience.
Okay.
And there is something they possess, which is probably what they saw in that moment that he is trying to harness for whatever reason. And my theory is still that he lost someone and is trying to like get them back. That's my theory. But yeah, he's working on something which seems a bit weird. Doesn't really take care of himself in that the place is a fucking mess. Yeah. And yeah, at first I was like, because there's 2 girls and 2 guys, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's like rapey, because I'm like, I don't know if I don't think it's a sexual thing, although I don't doubt that. I think they are going to sleep together, like Prairie and him might sleep together.
Yeah.
I can't quite. I don't know if they're getting like abused. I think the gassing is. My theory is that the gassing is trying to tap into that fight or flight thing when you're about to die, where you're like departing. I don't know.
Okay.
And I think he's testing different doses on them.
Both plot points get revealed next week in the next episode.
Oh shit! Well, do you know what I like about this show is they don't really sit on stuff for too long. Like,
there's only 8 episodes in each part.
I tell you what, not a big part of the episode, but her mum meets like a journalist, like a very prolific journalist
who wants to write like a memoir of the whole.
And she said, "I did this for someone who was kidnapped or abducted and came back," and she was like, "My story's not ended yet; it's just started." And I was like, "Ooh,
yeah."
That's really cool.
Yeah. That was kind of a little bit of chills there. It's just like she's still.
But I do find the present day stuff is just not as captivating as what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really good. It's really definitely dense. It's dense and it's hard work. I'm not ashamed to say that when I watch telly, most of the time I've got my phone out or I'm scrolling, and you just can't do that with this show for and I mean that in a good way. Like, you really have to watch and pay attention, and I think that's good.
That's true. That is true. That's really true.
So yeah, really enjoying it. Just can't quite tell, but it feels like a show that just has. We talked about this last week. Like, it just has a real sense of interiority. Like, it knows what it's about.
Yeah, so and I think you can tell in Brit Marling's performance that she's written it, created it. She's very much kind of like she's she's not dialing anything in. She doesn't even have to try to pretend to be Prairie, because she is Prairie, because she's lived it. She's obviously dreamt the spark of the idea and developed it, and you do get a sense. Same in a similar way, Fleabag with Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah,
you never, you just knew that it was just her. There was she could. Yeah. She would never get it wrong, because she was Fleabag, or she was Prairie, or the same.
Yeah, she's incredibly captivating, and I don't want this to sound patronising, but like her performance as a character who can't see is incredible.
Yeah, you truly do believe that she is blind, don't you?
And I think that is an incredibly hard thing to do, because we do eye contact. We look at characters' eyes the whole time, and her eyes are not moving as someone would if they can see.
I wonder if they.
I just think it's really, really, really impressive, and there's so much going on behind her eyes. I just think it's really, really quite mesmerizing. So whenever she's not on screen, I'm a bit like, go back to her.
yeah. Exciting though. So next week, I think you'll be. If you enjoyed this one, you're going to fucking love next one.
I mean, I probably will watch it today. This is what happens. I get a bit like, I have to watch it. Like Thrones, I do morning of.
Yeah, same actually.
On Monday mornings.
Same.
I think it's a better way around.
Yeah.
But really enjoying it.
Good, very good. What do you? Is there anything, any AOB in terms of? We don't really talk about any other TV that either of us may be watching. Actually, what are you up to at the moment? What are you into?
We just started Slow Horses season 2 last night.
Oh shit! When did that drop today?
On Friday.
Oh
Friday.
Man! Oh, love that show.
Just weird. I mean, they have done press for it, but it's. I haven't had any push notifications or any.
I haven't either. Did they recorded it at the same? They filmed it at the same time as season 1, though, right?
Yeah. Because what Apple does, my understanding is they always greenlight 2 seasons. So I think they filmed back to back, and my understanding is they sort of filmed it like in the same amount of time as a season would take. Right. And then at the end of season 1, they did a trailer for season 2, which I think is just the most brilliant idea, because it's all the footage is there, and you see, so we watched the first one, which just is...
And obviously fans of House of the Dragon will be bang into that.
Oh my God, yes. And even if you think like an MI5 like drama isn't for you, if you think, and then this is not an insult, but if you think, it's a bit ITV Sunday night drama, it is expensive looking. Like it is shot like a film. And it's just got the thing about Slow Horses. I can't remember if we have talked about it before, but I was so impressed with that first season.
I was as well.
It's what we've talked about a couple of times with Mayor of Easttown is always an example I use, where like everyone on this show is speaking the same language in terms of like it feels like a world of people, because everyone like knows that it's all a bit dour and British and miserable. It's quite rude. There's a bit in this episode. Gary Oldman is eating a bowl of noodles in like a Chinese cafe, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of at the end of the episode, and he eats like he knows how his character would eat a bowl of noodles, which is monstrously, sloppily,
horribly.
And I was watching it, and I was saying to Rob, I was like, I've never seen someone act so convincingly. Like that is not Gary Oldman eating noodles. That is shit. Lamb is it? I think his character's called George. George Lamb? No, what's he called? Lamb.
No one wants to be called George Lamb in 2022.
George Lamb. What's he called? Something Lamb. Anyway,
he plays. Jackson Lamb.
Jackson Lamb. Yeah. So first season is 6 episodes, which fucking delightful.
Yeah.
If anyone listening is looking for a new show, I would just get on it, because I think it's fucking great.
Loved it. For something that stars Gary Oldman, and for Gary Oldman not necessarily to be the greatest thing in it, says more about how great the show is. It's not that Gary Oldman's not good, because he's Gary Oldman. He's brilliant in it, but it's not like a pillar role where he's carrying everything else. Yeah. He's very much part of the ensemble. And obviously Olivia Cook, Alicent is in it as well.
Yeah, it's crazy, because I think she kind of actually maybe it's spoiler to say, but she's
don't
sort of
give spoilers
not in season 1.
Not
in season 1 that much, and I think it's because she was doing Dragon. But Jack Lowden, who is the sort of young lad in it,
James Bond.
Yeah, have we talked about this?
I think we might have mentioned it. I put some money on that actually.
I heard they want a young Bond, and I think he is like kind of perfect. Or I also heard George Mackay. Oh, we did. We talked about it when we went for breakfast.
Yeah, we did. Yes, that's right. I put some money on Jack Loudon.
George,
I don't think he's George Mackay's lovely. I'm not sure he's a bit
I
too
think
nice,
Bondo, they're going to want someone who's been the lead in a movie. I don't think they're going to want a TV actor. So I think Mackay, having done an Oscar-nominated film, worked with Sam Mendes.
What about Jack Connell?
I don't know, and I maybe shouldn't go into it on the podcast.
Okay.
I just think he just looks a bit haggard for it, to be honest. Sorry. Tell you what. While we're talking Jack Loudon, tell you what I would do if he doesn't get Bond. Yeah. Get him in House of the Dragon. Get him as this Cregan Stark that we've been hearing about.
He would
young,
be good.
Sexy Northern Lord. Get him in.
He would be
Jack
good.
Loudon should be in House of the Dragon.
He'd be very good. There we go.
That's my pitch. No, fucking love that show.
George
What are
Mackay
you watching at the moment?
What am I watching at the moment? That's a really good question. I'm struggling to get through much, actually. My sons are all mad keen on the football, so it's very much World Cup house at the moment.
Even we've been watching it, mate. That's how it is.
Even though we're not supposed to be, I guess. But I think I've still got to get through White Lotus. I've kind of like I've got so many half-finished seasons. White Lotus. I've still got to get through Only Murders in the Building. I've got
we haven't started season 2 of that yet.
Something else, but like Slow Horses again. It's just like shit.
Can I say like White Lotus not doing anything for me?
Is it not?
No. I gave up on season 1 as well, so I thought I'd start season 2 like fresh slate because it's sort of.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I just don't. I think it's really easy watch, which is a great thing.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with an easy watch, but it's
not
nowhere.
It's not dragging you.
For me, it's just it thinks it's a little cleverer than it is. I don't think it's that interesting. I think also I think the sort of like self-loathing rich arseholes. Like I think Succession just does it so much better than anyone else, and I think a lot of shows now are like, ooh, we'll do a thing where the rich people are monsters, and I'm like, you're just not really getting it the way that Succession gets it. And I think, I've heard the same with the new Knives Out, that there's quite a lot of like pompous like rich people in it, because it's a bit more California and like techie this time.
Oh, is it?
And I've just heard that it's just a little thin. It's like, I get it. Like, an Elon Musk type character, or like a venture capital bro, and it's like, so I haven't got really into that, but all about Slow Horses right now.
Absolutely. Right, okay. Well,
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this will probably come up in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. I'll get this up. We'll be a week ahead in terms of OA, I think, but that'll be absolutely fine. But until next week, go and watch episode 4 because you're going to absolutely fucking love it. It all kicks off in a very OAE kind of way.